Howdy again everyone, and now it's time to answer that age-old question which has troubled even the greatest scientists and lofty-minded philosophers for centuries. What is the sharpest 20mm camera lens available today? One of my favourite focal lengths on a full-frame camera, particularly for landscape work, is 20mm. It's an ultra-wide angle, getting you loads of image packed into your picture, while still not being so wide that it's just difficult to use. And if the lens has a bright maximum aperture, you can get some subtle background separation that really gives your images some depth. But it seems like 20mm lenses with decently bright apertures are difficult for manufacturers to design. I prepared for this video by going through my old test results, and I was shocked by how many 20mm lenses have very soft image corners, unless you stop them down to f5.6 or so, which is why I'm only including 5 lenses in this list instead of the usual 7. So let's see what some of the sharpest available are today. I've tested about 15 of them over various systems, so I've got a good idea of what to look for in them by now. As usual, links to full reviews are available in the description below, as well as affiliate links if you'd like to support the channel. And also, fair warning, a lot of these lenses are only Sony E-mount, as Canon and Nikon are being a bit slow to welcome third-party lenses into their respective playgrounds, and all of these are for full-frame cameras. First up, in 5th place, the Tokina Firin 20mm f2. This is the only lens on the list available in both auto and manual focus models, and Tokina themselves are historically rather famous for their decent value and relatively sharp ultra-wide angle lenses. It's a real neat little lightweight ultra-wide lens with a decently bright aperture, soft looking bokeh and low distortion. Its image corners are still a little soft at its brightest apertures though, not disastrously so, but they're still not great. But all the same, this is probably my favourite Tokina lens that I've ever handled. Next up, Sony's own lower budget offering, the FE 20mm f1.8G, although it still costs $900. This is a very typical G-type lens from Sony with their normal build quality and features, so it works really well on your camera. Its picture quality in the middle of your images is always razor sharp, and as a result your subject pictures look real nice at f1.8. At the brightest aperture though, its corners are still struggling a bit, looking just okay until you stop down the aperture. Decent image quality here, but it's not quite the kind of lens you'd fall in love with so easily. In 3rd place comes the lens with the brightest aperture on this particular list, which makes it especially helpful for astrophotography or shooting in any darker space. The newer DG-DN Art version of Sigma's popular 20mm f1.4 lens is a nice improvement in sharpness over its older sibling for digital SLR cameras, which itself was no slouch in that area. It's also smaller and lighter and able to use front filters. This is the first lens in this list with really impressively sharp corners at its brightest aperture, making it one of the most exciting 20s on the market today, and I wish it were available for Canon or Nikon cameras one day. In many ways, this is the 20mm enthusiast's dream lens, particularly if you need a bright aperture, but if we're talking about sharpness alone, then the next 2 lenses can do just slightly better. In 2nd place comes a lens that I absolutely loved testing out, belonging, as it does, to Sigma's wonderful I series. The Sigma 20mm f2 DG-DN-C has incredibly solid build quality, nice features, and is cool to look at, not to mention having a decently bright aperture. But what jumps out particularly are its crucial image corners, which display loads of sharpness straight from f2. Actually, it's a little sharper than the Sigma f1.4 lens I just mentioned at the same apertures, but only a little. This lens's biggest weakness though is its horrible vignetting. Those corners are dark as anything, and the in-camera corrections don't seem to help very much, unfortunately. But overall, this is still a lens with real character. It's just beautiful to handle, to the point where its impressive sharpness almost just feels like an added bonus. And finally, in 1st position comes the incredible Nikon Z 20mm f1.8s. This video has been a bit of a party for Sony E-mount cameras so far, and I can't even remember the last time Canon brought out a 20mm lens, but until I came around to checking my old test results, I had completely forgotten just how ridiculously sharp this frankly magnificent Nikon lens truly is. It's the most expensive lens on this list and not the brightest aperture, but its images are absolutely razor sharp from corner to corner with excellent contrast. It really does offer quite an edge of perfection where the other lenses on the list make do with being just great. And its images overall just look gorgeous as well. I loved the quality of its bokeh, its lovely colours and contrast made me happy. This lens is just quality central, even if you have to pay top dollar for it. Okay, that's all of them. Hope you enjoyed the video, and what's your favourite ultra-wide angle lens? A good one will charm the pants off you out shooting with it, if you can find a location with enough grandeur. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you to my Patreon supporters, and ciao for now, everyone.